Let's turn our focus then to the Western Cape, where the work of community courts is in focus. These were first introduced in South Africa in 2004 by former President Thabo Mbeki, and the aim was to roll them out nationwide. Right now, they can only be found in Gauteng and in the Western Cape, and this is where our Vuyo Mvoko is, outside the Strand police station. Vuyo, access to justice in South Africa is still a huge right that is inaccessible to many people, still for a variety of different reasons. And yet it's, it's one of the cornerstones of our democracy and a society feeling safe and recognized and having recourse when things go wrong.
Indeed, Iman, it remains elusive for many people. Only a few days ago, someone at a taxi rank nearby was shot dead several times, and this police station has to investigate that case. And that particular case, once again, affirming the Western Cape's reputation as gangsters' paradise, where guns and gangs actually rule. And this is a reputation that this province wants to shake off. Of course, they cannot do that if they cannot put deterrence. And among the things that people are saying needs to happen is to bring those courts to the people so that people are prosecuted. And in that way, when things are happening where they can see them, they can witness them, hopefully that will serve as a deterrent. Of course, over the past year, there's been a decline in murders by over 8%, but the numbers are still very, very high. GBV, for example, hasn't subsided at all. Gender-based violence is still a big factor in the Western Cape. But the police minister was here only in November saying that they are promising to do their best to actually curb these trends, even in instances where the numbers have actually come down. Only a couple of months ago, you had the provincial government, the CT, the National Minister of Police, the Community Policing Forum, who we will be speaking to a little later on, all of them coming together and signing a memorandum of understanding saying the Western Cape cannot be gangsters' paradise anymore. They are trying to deal with all these crimes, including, of course, the one I was talking about, which happened only a few days ago, where one man was pelted with bullets not too far from here. With regard to then that need to bring these courts to the people, let's take a listen or take a look at this insert that talks to that problem and what people aspire or hope will happen to deal with all these problems of crime in the Western Cape.
In 2004, during his State of the Nation address, President Thabo Mbeki committed to establishing community courts across South Africa to address petty crimes. The Fezeka Community Court in Gugulethu opened later that year and stands as one of 3 located in Cape Town. Individuals wait for proceedings, each hoping to navigate their circumstances without a lasting mark on their records. As each case unfolds, a distinct element emerges. Many matters are directed towards mediation instead of traditional prosecution.
State will request a postponement to the 31st of January for possible mediation and will request that the complainant is warned.
Is it domestic related now?
It is domestic related, Your Worship.
Are they living together?
They currently do not reside together, Your Worship.
Okay. And what is the conditions that you ask?
Refrain from contacting the complainant, Your Worship, and from going to the complainant's residence.
So your matter is postponed until the 31st of January of the year 2025 for possible mediation. You are going to be back here at this court 0.5% on the 31st of January of 2025. Sir, you must have no contact with the complainant and you must not go to a residence. If you fail to comply with those conditions, sir, it is a criminal offense. Do you understand, sir?
Accompanying each session is a qualified mediator, essential for fostering dialogue and resolution.
When the prosecutor receives those cases, they screen those cases and they see what intervention is needed. We work with stakeholders. We have social workers in our community courts, and we get to send the accused persons to social workers and to see if we cannot find common grounds, mediation or diversion of those cases.
Cases often include drug offences and family disputes, with a focus on rehabilitation over punishment.
It is about access to justice, but also what is also important is outside or beyond that court appearance, are we assisting the community? It cannot be a case of I came to court, I appeared, my matter was finalized, but then what do we have to show for it? Do we have skills? If what brought you to court was your lack of anger management, were you assisted in that regard? Were you given skills to cope with anger management?
More serious matters that cannot be resolved in this court are transferred to conventional criminal courts, underscoring the limited scope of community courts.
In an evaluation we did in 2018, we found that there was indeed an impact on crime where a community court was there. However, they have suffered a little over the years in terms of really getting the support they need to have an impact, a broader impact on the country. What we need is greater investment in justice more generally, and a greater understanding of how we can make our justice system more efficient. Some of our major courts are sitting at 2 hours 45 minutes that they're sitting for a day. That is a huge waste of resources. We need to be getting back to the standard of 4.5 hours a day.
As we look to the future, Redpath and others will be tracking President Cyril Ramaphosa's speech for insight on addressing these pressing challenges within our justice framework. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Malungelo, Booi in Gugulethu.
All right, Vuyo, thank you very much. That's the picture then from the Western Cape, and really important conversation pieces over the last couple of days, the impact on mining, the effects on schooling, and some of the demands that Vuyo was sharing with us from communities he visited in the Eastern Cape.